7:45, 15 minutes moving up to 8 o'clock. We have in studio with us our friends from the Unit Trust Corporation to give us some sound financial advice. In studio, of course, is Margaret White, who is the marketing manager at UTC and also the investment center manager of UTC for the first time, Janice Jackman. Good morning, Margaret. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time, Janice. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us. It's
always
a pleasure to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Let's talk about, today we're talking about planning for your children's education. Let's put Janice in the hot seat this morning. Many people don't realize that this is one of the greatest investments, like a house, that you'll have in terms of your long-term investment is your children and their secondary and primary, secondary, and tertiary education. Correct. Let's talk about where this fits into your portfolio planning with your investments.
Well, first of all, we just want to thank you, and thank you for viewers for having us this morning. We look at the investment portfolio for your children as a key, as essential, because when you think about it as a foundation that you are setting for your children going forward, and you want to give them the best advantage possible. And we urge parents, even guardians, members, loved ones, to pursue along that path where it is that you could consider that the putting aside for your child's education is key. And you need to start from a very early age. So you're not looking
like
at
from
when...
conception?
Well, yes, and very much so. So when you know that, okay, that part is there, you start making plans for that immediately. And one of the things we need to be stressed is that you need to set goals. You need to know exactly what are your plans. What are the time horizon that I'm looking at? Am I looking at for when this child reaches the age of 16 and then going into post-secondary education, so that we are well prepared to send them on that path? And that's why we consider it as a very key aspect in when you're planning for your child's education.
And we're talking about child, but most people have children. Not so, Margaret.
That's
so
indeed.
it becomes even more critical because you have to provide the resources to educate your children. Right. And which means when you think about families and the pulls and the various points of pulling on the resources, and you're looking down the road, the earlier you start, the better.
The better, that's indeed correct. And as you alluded to earlier, building an investment portfolio takes you where you want to go. And it's over time, so that you look at the roadmap. If you don't have a roadmap, a proper roadmap,
gotta have that goal.
Right. You would go anywhere. Any road would take you anywhere. So that you have to set that foundation, as Janice alluded to. And there are 4 key factors that we must look at.
What are these 4 key factors?
Well, we have been advising the public for the past year with CNMG. The first thing is that you must set goals. Janice mentioned that. And those goals that you set must be smart. They must be specific. So realistic, smart, measurable, and so on. Actionable. So if you don't set those goals, you would find that you would be looking all over the place to get things for your children. And we want to have a good foundation for them. We know that another factor is, Janice indicated, time horizons. It's long term. The education minister mentioned from nursery to tertiary education. But there are other factors that are involved. You have the food, you have the transport, the clothing, all those things we must take into consideration. And then, of course, you have, at times, you have to pay the babysitter. That is expensive. That's perhaps from $600–700, and your salary may not be able to afford that.
Do you think people underestimate the cost in terms of educating their children? Because, I mean, you're going to feed them, you're going to clothe them, but it comes at a cost. And if you don't budget for that,
that's right,
it could derail your entire financial planning.
Correct. And that's why we really stress on planning and making sure that you set your goals. Because, yes, and you realize with escalating costs of everything, while we do offer free education at this point in time, and this is good, but you still have other elements that you need to be mindful of. Because, yes, as Margaret, we were speaking before we got on set, you still have to buy some form of
gotta buy food, gotta buy clothes.
Books, clothing, and so
There's
forth.
registration fees.
Correct. And even we can go even further, because
kids get sick, kids get ill sometimes.
Definitely. And then you
lessons,
all of that. And then you look at also, I mean, we have some of the non-traditional careers that we have now, and we may not provide those tuition here, so students may even have to travel abroad.
But let's even talk about, I mean, we have Gate in Trinidad to begin, blessed country. I can't continue to stress how much we are blessed, because when my friends talk to me from North America or from Europe, they say, you actually have free tertiary education and postgrad up to a certain level. But that's not always going to be the case. Let's be practical. While it exists, we should still be planning almost as if it doesn't exist, to make sure that you have a safety net.
That's right, because my daughter at this time is at university, and every term you have to pay registration fees. You have to buy books, and the books range from $500.
It's a cheap book.
So it is.
It's a very reasonable book.
It starts from $500. So at the end of that semester, you would have spent literally $10,000, which includes food, transport, and clothing. So all those factors at times graduation fees,
gown fees, you have to pay for the hat.
Right. So it is important when we are budgeting that we distinguish our wants, because obviously our children, we have the peer pressure, so that they would want to go to a movie town as opposed to going to Trent City, which is a lot far cheaper.
And you have to factor in those entertainment costs because they're young people.
Right.
Also, let's talk about the instruments that are available at the UTC now, from birth to the tertiary level education and possibly post-grad.
Okay, so Janice.
All right. Right now we have two specific plans designed for that. The Student Investment and Protection Plan and the Children Investment Starter Plan. Both are invested in our Growth and Income Fund. The Student Investment Protection Plan, it offers two elements to that plan. You have the investment portfolio, of course, which we, the unit trust, manages, and then you have a protection plan, which is managed by Pan American Insurance Company. So there is an accidental plan, because we know from the age of growing up, some children accident. And again, to offset the expenses at which we may have to take out of pocket, that plan covers. And it starts very minimum with $50. $25 will go towards the plan and $25 for the premium. And the premium is just $25 a month. The Children Investment Starter Plan starts with a minimum of 5 units. And immediately upon opening that account, the corporation matches 5. So once you open the account, you have 5 free units there. So for the price of 5 units, you get 10 units.
Oh, that's great.
Right? So again, we're giving you a head start. We're giving you a head start on that. And because it is in the Growth and Income Fund, it covers for the inflation. Because we're looking at, again, with inflation, it erodes the value of money. And with the Growth and Income Fund, you have capital gains. You get income on the account. And added, which we have a guarantee on the Growth and Income Fund, so it minimizes risk considerably.
So you're going to get back what you put in at the worst
Correct,
case.
Correct. So there is no win-win situation. There's no loss.
You're going to have gains on it anyway.
Over time.
How important is it? We spoke about the importance of starting early, but even if you didn't start early, your child is like 9, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6. How important is, 1, starting at whatever level, and 2,
Well, when you start at whatever level, once the child 9 years, that's fine, because the accounts is from 9, whatever age you start, from 9 to 10, 12 years. The fact is that the fund that we offer provides long-term growth over time. So you have 3 years within the fund, that's fine, you'd see growth, you have income, and you have growth. So it gives you, as Janice would have indicated, in terms of the Student Investment and Protection Plan, we encourage persons to invest on a regular basis.
How flexible are they?
So it's not just putting in $25.
It's a consistent
and forgetting it.
contribution.
And that's what people do. You know, when you have a child, you have this, euphoria. I have to give this child this. My grandparents is giving money. What do we do? Some parents, naturally, they spend it. They want to see their child looking really nice. I want to buy a dress.
So it's flexible enough that you can, while you have your, let's just say, standing order every month, if you get lump sum gifts, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, you can contribute to that one through that. So it's a practical way to help the child down the road. I mean, I'm not saying don't buy a little doll and stuff, but I mean, you can also put it in this.
And of course, it's important to get the child involved. Get the children. Let's say you want your child says, I want to be a businessman or a businesswoman. There is someone in the office whose child is just about 4 years, and she makes cupcakes, and the child sells to the staff, and what she does is she takes it down upstairs and she puts it in her account, and the mother shows her the statement. So she looks at the statement and she says, oh, my money is growing, and look how much money I have. So getting the children involved is very
and you're
critical.
inculcating that great habit of saving and investing.
That's right. So that the child, so that the child says, okay, I see where I'm going. Mommy's guiding me. She's helping me to get to that roadmap that she's directing for me. So communicating with your children in terms of investing is critical.
And building that confidence. And how flexible is it in terms of, is it that you set a horizon of 18 years or 20 years? How does it work? Or can you set, and can that be broken later on if exigent circumstances come and you want to bring it up or move it back?
Well, it certainly depends on the parents' circumstances. You can start based on your needs and your affordability. So if I can afford to put aside $10 or $20 every week, that's fine. When your income increases, then of course
you can change it.
You can change it.
You can increase the amount.
Yes.
I'm talking about down in the end, when it becomes mature. Yeah.
Well, what we set at age of 18, for the both accounts we set at age of 18, but of course we know again with tertiary education sometimes it goes up to the age of 23. So especially with the student investment protection plan where there's the insurance aspect to it, it can go up to the age of 23 once the child is involved in full-time
So you have
education.
that coverage.
Correct, once you pay the premiums to cover. So whilst we're saying that at the age of 18 the young adult may be responsible enough to handle their affairs from there, you can still extend it at least to the age of 23.
So you have some leeway.
That's right.
All right, and more information you can get by the number
624-8648, or you can visit our website at www.ttutc.com.
www.ttutc.com. All right, thank you very much, Janice Jackman, who is the Investment Center Manager, and also Margaret White, Marketing Manager for UTC. Of course, www.ttutc.com. Stuck a good rhyme. All right, thank you very much, ladies. That's our show for today. Thank you very much for the pleasure of your company. Don't forget, check our brand new website, ctntworld.com. And at 7 tonight, Disha Ramachan, James Saunders, and Ian Wallace will be in our prime time from 7, and Scandal at 8 o'clock right here on CTV. Have a great day.